Welcome to the Kimberly NEC show, and my name is Kimberly. As always, I am your host for the show. If this is your first time of watching the show, I want you to know that this show is all about inspiration, motivation. It's me sharing experiences with you and hoping that it motivates and inspires you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. So if this is your first time of watching the show, kindly hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss anything. And for previous topics that I've spoken about, you can visit my website www.kimberlynec.com to catch up on every other stuff that I've spoken about in the past. Now, that being said, I'm jumping straight to my topic for today. Today I'm going to be speaking on something a little bit sensitive, and that is effect of good or bad upbringing in a child's choice of spouse. When you hear relationship, I call it sensitive because most times people expect that you who is talking about relationship is either you have a successful relationship or you're married. I am not married, of course, but that's not going to stop me from sharing what I think that our generation of young people need to listen to. Y'all need to check the article I wrote on love in this generation. This is a generation that for better or worse does not mean so much to us anymore. Now, there are certain things that you might not know about marriage until you get married. So nothing you know before getting married will stop a divorce from happening until you are married and listen to people that are married and also experience certain things that these married people have experienced before you know how to avoid divorce in your marriage. So no, what I'm about to teach you or tell you does not in any way apply to you once you're married. That stuff that I'm talking about today is basically for those that are not married and are yet, thank God, to find their life partner. Now, there's this adage that girls want to marry their fathers and boys want to marry their mothers. Now, growing up as a child, there's certain things you see in a parent. Example, a girl who grows up in an emotionally abusive home, by all standards, is supposed to fall for a man that will not abuse her emotionally. What is emotional abuse? You grew up in a home where probably your father never pays attention to your needs. He's always screaming at you, always treating you like trash, not consciously of course, but he never actually pays attention to what matters to you. Your father is just interested in going to school. He doesn't even want to know what course you want to study. He's telling you what to do at each point. You don't even have the opportunity as a child to express what you really feel. It's like you are afraid of doing that. That's emotional abuse because you're not being listened to. Nobody cares what you think. They're just telling you what they know that or feel like you should do. Now, growing up in a home like that as a female child, it is expected that when you grow up, you are supposed to fall for a man that will treat you right. But check this out. Most girls that grow up in such homes end up falling for men that are exact replica of their fathers. And that's why you always hear this adage that girls marry their fathers. Because look at it as a girl. I'm sure most of us watching this video now will start to think about it. I've seen a girl who grew up in an emotionally abusive home, and for some reason she was always falling for the same guys that would treat her wrong. Now, she was talking to me about it and she was like, I don't know why this guy is always like this. And I told her, cast your mind back to your upbringing. How was your father like? And she was like, yeah, that's true. Now the thing is, if you do not understand where you're from or who you are, you cannot act against it. Every adult, I always say this, every adult grows up with a default setting. What do I mean default setting? There is a particular way that within you have been taught to grow and act. Now, growing up that way with that default setting, if you don't know that this default setting is there, you cannot act against it. So a girl, like I said, that grows up in an emotionally abusive home falls for a guy who will emotionally abuse her. Why? Because that is the only kind of love that she understands. Sorry, I had to pause the video to clear my throat. Now, so for some reason, when that kind of girl meets a man who is nice, treats her well, is almost near perfect, she gets irritated because she's like, what kind of guy is this? Because she's not used to that kind of love. She's not used to somebody treating her good, paying attention to her, listening to her, asking her, baby, what do you want me to do now? What are your needs? I want to hear you. Like, she is not used to a man caring about her opinion. So for some reason, she's irritated, or you see her picking fights where they don't even matter. Let me face the guys a little bit. Now, you find a guy who is dating a girl, and as a guy, this is to men now. As a guy, you hear your girlfriend tell you certain things, and the next thing you say is, "My mom always tells me this," or "My ex told me that." Take note of those kind of things, because you are falling for the exact way you were raised. For instance, a guy who is raised by a mother, maybe a single parent, a mom, you're going to fall for a woman that's exactly how your mother is. So, understanding that I have a default setting, and my default is I am used to abusive love. You have to train your mind to consciously accept love that is not abusive. So, as a girl who has had such upbringing, what you should do is this: very simple. You meet a man who is emotionally abusive, you run away from such people. You meet a man who is nice and treats you right, your mind subconsciously tells you this is not who you should be with. Your mind tells you stuff like, this is not real love, because your mind is used to a man screaming at you. What you should do is embrace it. Teach your mind to accept a love that you're not used to. You need to be able to work against your default setting as a woman. Like I said, relationships are a very, very tricky subject to talk on. And having this understanding made me look back on my past relationships and realize that, oh, okay. You know, some of these things that I am sharing with you now, I'm glad that I know them now before I'm married. And I'm sure that a lot of people that might watch this video might say stuff like, I wish somebody told me this earlier, then I wouldn't have been where I am. But it's never too late to do the right thing, especially those of us that are watching this video that are single. This is the best time for you to look back on your present relationships, your past relationships, and then your future relationships. You should always ask yourself this question: you know, sometimes you're in a relationship with someone and you don't feel comfortable. You know that you're not really happy being there, but you're just there because that's the kind of love you're used to. A man is screaming at you, you know that you can be treated right, but you're just there. Or a guy who has a woman that keeps nagging and nagging and nagging. Now, I'm not talking about those that are actually doing things that make the women nag. No, I'm talking about those that have women in their life that just keep nagging, keep having one issue or the other, and they're just there because. And most times, when you find people in situations like, the next thing they start trying to do is become fixers. They're trying to. You tell them things like, "This woman is not right for you," or "This man is not right for you." I tell you something like, "Don't worry, I'm going to work on him." Holy Spirit, that's not who you are. You can't fix that kind of person. Now, there is a woman meant for that kind of man. You need to meet a man that loves and appreciates you. You need to meet a woman that respects you and treats you how you deserve to be treated. Like I said, understanding that you have a default mechanism or default setting inside of you helps you work against it. I really hope that this video today helps someone, because I feel like our generation of young people, we need to listen to this, because we keep having people jump from one relationship to the other and they don't know what they're doing wrong. Like, you see them today with one person, in the next 3 weeks, next 6 months, and like in 1 year they're with someone else, and you're like, why does this guy keep changing from girl to girl? And that guy, sometimes in the relationship, he keeps experiencing the same thing that he's experiencing and he thinks he has a problem. No, you're just attracted to the way you were raised. That's the only kind of love you know. So if you do not learn to work against that kind of love and accept something better for yourself, it will not change. Like I said, I hope this video helps somebody. Thank you very much for watching, and please drop comments. I want to know what you think about this topic, and please, if you enjoyed the video, kindly like. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let someone invest in me like $10.